legend. He will get remembered. Legends never die.
Hi everyone, this is Thibodeaux Devin Lloyd, Big Blue, bringing you the best of New York Giants sports talk entertainment. We are the legend. The legend's closing in on 10,000 subscribers. I'm just joking. I don't consider myself a legend. Consider myself a guy with a cold right now. But we're closing in on 10,000. I think we're about 19 away. We're going to do the big 10,000 subscriber stream on Sunday at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Giving away 3 Eli Manning 2011 replica Super Bowl rings. I don't know how we're going to give them away yet, but we're going to give them away during the stream. We got guests. We got surprises. We're going to have a lot of fun here coming up on Sunday. Not going to have a video on Saturday like we normally do, but we are going to have our Friday video. I'm going to push through this cold and get this done. I was thinking about the draft, and honestly, you see all these drafts, and you see all these mock drafts, and you see, and I love it because people, all they do on YouTube now is just do mock drafts. Is there no other content to create? Are people not creative enough to figure out to do something else besides a mock draft? Or maybe that's just how you get the clicks, the likes, the bleeps, and the boops. We'll do one mock draft, and we'll probably do it, I would say probably a week before the draft, but that's it. But I want to talk about the Giants selection because Kayvon Thibodeaux. Sorry, my voice is not up to par today. There's a lot of speculation that he's going to fall to the Giants at 5. Are you really falling to a team at 5 when only 4 other people get selected ahead of you? And I was thinking about this before. Could defense rule the day in the first round for the Giants? I'm already a huge Devin Lloyd fan. I do think the Giants should draft Devin Lloyd. We did a whole video about Devin. We're not going to do it again because of the fact that I think he fits the Wink system. I think he's the linebacker we need for that system to be run correctly. But Kayvon Thibodeaux, I keep thinking about him. And everyone's like, we got to grab the offensive lineman. Some people are like, we got to grab 2 offensive linemen. I've said it before. I don't agree with grabbing 2 offensive linemen in the first round. I really don't. But when you're looking at a guy in Thibodeaux who is 6'5", 258 pounds, he's a former number 1 ESPN top 100 player when he entered into the University of Oregon. And he was a guy that I'm going to say he really hasn't disappointed. He's moved into an upper echelon way, I would say. And he's a guy that if you are the Giants and you are looking to rebuild your defense the correct way and have a championship-style defense with the players you currently have and drafting someone like Devin Lloyd, maybe at 7. And like I said, I am still a Malik Willis fan. I am never going to give up hope that Malik Willis is not going to go to the Giants somewhere. But then when you look at Thibodeaux, you have to question some things. Not question some things. You have to question yourself in reference to what you want to draft. That's what you kind of have to look at. Because if you want to just break down his game film, go watch if you want to watch just games in 2021, watch the Fresno State game, the Cal game, the UCLA game. I think that's the best games that you're going to get a look at in 2021. And if you want to look at this kid's attributes, he's got a first step that I have not seen in years. He's got that explosiveness coming off the ball. He gets, and the thing is, he not only gets off the ball with an explosion, with a quickness, but he also gets off with force, where he's almost in some regards bullying the offensive lineman. And I think that's something you got to look at. And he is a guy that, in my mind, you can put his hand in the dirt. You can stand him up in the outside linebacker position. You can move him that way as well. Because if you want to move him into a 3-4, I know most people think that he's ideal for a 4-3. I think he's better in a 3-4. Because you can put him on the line. You can stand him up in the middle. There's so many different things that you can do because he has the flexibility to play multiple. I think I should rephrase it. I think he'll have the flexibility to play multiple roles on this defense. And to me, he is a defensive prospect that we haven't seen in a couple of years. Actually, I should rephrase that. He's a defensive prospect that we haven't seen in the defensive line position in a couple of years, especially on the edge. He's got big, powerful hands. He knows how to hold the point of attack extremely well. He can really disengage from his blocker. And I think he'll be I think that's a little bit of a weakness for him because he needs to do it a little bit quicker. But I think that's something that can be coached. He's a guy that can play the run. He kind of reminds me, in reference to playing the run, of someone like Justin Tuck. Very good instincts. He's got good feel to find the football. And he really improved as a tackler in space over the last season or so. Not that he was bad, he's improved. And he has that relentlessness. He's got that motor, that desire. He doesn't quit. And he doesn't quit on plays. At least that's what you watch in college. He doesn't really quit on plays. And everyone always talks about what these guys say, what's their football IQ? And I always think that's a good question because I think a lot of times football IQ can be misconstrued with instinct. And I think he's instinctively a good player when it's reference to finding the ball. But if you want to talk about his ability to diagnose what the offense is doing, I think he does that extremely well. And the one thing I love about him is if you tie him in with Devin Lloyd, he's got excellent lateral mobility. He effortlessly moves sideline to sideline. And again, that's something that is going to be interesting to watch for a man his size. Now, he's not statuesque in reference to his weight. He's 258, but he is a guy that is 6'5". And I think his versatility, and I'm going to keep saying this again, I think his versatility is what really is going to stand out for him. And I know, like I said, he could easily fit in a 4-3, and everyone's going to say he's going to be 4-3, 3-4. I'm going to tell you right now, he is a true 3-4 outside linebacker. If you want to go back to Banks and Taylor, those were true outside linebackers. And that's why I said in a 3-4 system, you can keep him on the edge. You can line him up as an outside linebacker. You can move him into the inside. There is just so many things that you can do with him. And if you pair him with someone like Devin Lloyd and you get more than adequate play out of your secondary, you've just created a pass rushing force for Wink. And I know it's crazy because everyone's like, you got to fix the offensive line. You got to fix the offensive line. But let's just think about it for a minute. Let's just think about what we can and cannot do defensively. And one of the biggest issues we have defensively is our pass rush, our outside linebacker play, and our defensive ends. And you can cure almost all of that with what we have on the roster, like Ezio Ojulari, Quincy Roche. You could really fix that problem immediately. And you can work on building your secondary. And continue to, and I should rephrase that, you don't really need to build a secondary. You can then take a look at your secondary and see if you have guys on this roster who can be a number 1 or a number 2 against Doria Jackson if you get rid of James Bradbury. I have said this a million times. If you have a poor pass rush, you have to hope you have a good secondary, which is kind of what we had the last 2 years. And if you have a poor secondary, you have to generate a good pass rush, which I think we can do. And like I said, I think we could generate an interesting to a phenomenal pass rush at times under Wink's system and cover some of the deficiencies that we may have by starting second-year players in the secondary. That's just my thought process. You get yourself a big defensive end, you get yourself an outside linebacker, you fix your secondary, and then you work on your offense in the later half of the draft during free agency. Don't forget, we got the big stream coming up at 10:30 Eastern Standard Time on Sunday. It'll be our 10,000 subscriber giveaway stream, having special guests drop on by. And again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing the best in New York Giants sports talk entertainment. And as always, if you could like, subscribe, ring that bell, you know what it means, that'd be awesome.